of all. Most people call it the holiday season, but this is the time where we need to really buckle down on our budgeting, really say to family and friends, no, really put ourselves first, humbling. And I'm excited to go over this information today because every series we're always talking about things dealing with money, things dealing with finances, things dealing with strategies on how to build wealth. I was talking to Pastor Anderson earlier about, I did a talk for some young kids and they were not fascinated by my car. They was not fascinated by physical money. They wanted to know how my head was working. What was I thinking? When did I have a shift in my thinking? And I started thinking about personal power. I started thinking about personal development. I started thinking about the things that I did to get myself mentally ready for the money. We've heard multiple times celebrities, athletes, they get the money, right? Lotto winners, Powerball winners, they get the money, then they give it right back. They don't have the tools. They could employ them. They have resources to employ them. They can even hire somebody to help them. But that comes from the mindset of even knowing, should I hire somebody? That takes a decision. And it brought me back to some of the things that I've got a chance to do over the years and some of the things that I stopped doing. Now, some of these things you're probably already doing, but I want you to know that it's important for us always to remain a student of the game. But before I get started, I definitely want to give a shout out to all the women, some men, believe it or not. We want to always pay homage to breast cancer awareness. This is a epidemic and a challenge, and not just our community, but multiple communities. I had a meeting scheduled with a young lady today, and she said, "Coach, I can't make that mean. I got to go take my mammogram." And I said to myself, self, that's what you need to do. Always applaud individuals taking their real wealth, which is our health, seriously. And she missed that meeting, by the way. But I definitely want to give a shout out. And every month is always something. Next month we have veterans, but right now definitely Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A quick story. I remember the first time I, as a young man, was introduced to this breast cancer thing. I started to learn about the history of why it's important for our powerful women to take that leap of faith, to get that mammogram. And I remember I was 17, 18, and I tell this story, but it reminds me of what I did or lack thereof, what I didn't do every year. So my grandmother had breast cancer. The main thing is she didn't tell anybody. Not a soul. And I remember it got so bad, she ended up going into hospice. Now, here's a lesson I learned. I told you guys slightly this story in series 2 early on, but I remember working at my job, doing what any 18 and 17-year-old was doing, chasing the money. My mother said, "Kevin, I need you to go see your grandma." Guess what I said? "Okay, mommy, I'm gonna see her." I never did it. Week after week after week after week. But this our God slapped me up. I'll never forget, we had a sales contest at my job. It was Everybody was excited about it. It was the largest paycheck I ever had at 18. All because I was there all day, every day, focused on that. And then I got that call. I got the check on Saturday. Monday, I got the call that your grandmother has left us. And I kept procrastinating. And I kept procrastinating. And I kept procrastinating. It took me a long time to get over that. It literally affected me, for I felt so guilty. Then I realized I didn't know what I didn't know. So anytime we get an opportunity to not only show family we love them with, it could be a hug or just asking them, is everything okay? Are you good? You need me for anything? Sometimes I really wish I should have just sat there along with my grandmother and just listened to her, because I had that small window, but I needed that assignment. I needed that wake-up call. That was the last time anybody has ever gotten that situation that I procrastinated on. And it all derives from breast cancer. Now, she did the same thing, right? She procrastinated on telling everybody, but I did the same thing as well. So I want you to know, any family you have, young or old, cancer don't see no color. It don't see no race. It don't see no creed. It's just important. I think it, besides hereditary, I do think it goes to some of the things that we're eating, which is a whole nother conversation. But I do believe that you want to check up on them. So let's delve into something. So one of the things that, when I was talking to the young folks, they were really trying to pick my brain, and I wanted them to understand there's something called personal power. Okay, developing personal power has a potential to enrich your life as well as the lives of those around you. Bless you, Pastor. Bless you. Right? It can drive you to greater fulfillment. Imagine if Pastor heard about me and he didn't allow me to show you my personal power. We will miss the boat. People will miss out on the opportunity. And I get excited because anytime and I'm sure you can, infuse your personal power into anybody, it's going to uplift them. And it's also going to allow people to understand that you got a personal power too. It's very important. And as I was talking to those kids, I was explaining to them their personal power, or they can identify it, and it helped them. One of the things that I learned, and it ties back into that conversation about my grandmother, if I would have just took action. If I would have just took action. And sometimes action looks different for everybody. For me, a person can look at me and like, Coach, I don't know how you do public speaking. That is scary. But somebody like me, show me the mic. I'm going to take action. This is easy for me. But it's many, many years of sharpening myself, tapping into my personal power. I remember not knowing what my personal power was. And then I tapped into it. So why are you afraid to take action? See, every week, every month, we're talking about money. We're talking about having a stronger money mindset. But it all comes from taking action. Quick story. So I'm not sure if you guys seeing what's going on, but everybody's talking about Bitcoin. You know how long we've been talking about in these series? Y'all been getting nuggets dropped on y'all about something dealing with Bitcoin or stock. Everybody's excited right now. Think about that. And I remember my wife yesterday, she's like, babe, can I see your Uphold account? I said, no. So just so you know, a Uphold account is a wallet that you use to hold your cryptocurrency. So I said, no. And she said, why? I said, because when the crypto was down and everything was down, where everybody was scared, guess what I was doing? Taking action, investing into it. Investing into it. Investing into it. Investing into it. Now, people are taking action now when it's overpriced. Yesterday's price is not today's price. I want to quote a famous rapper called Fat Joe. So think about that. Act. Action changes things. So this series, I want to talk a little bit about mindset. I want to talk a little bit about taking action. And for you, it may be an action of writing down your goals. Your action may be starting that new business. People don't realize Colonel Sanders started his business after he retired. He knew it was not enough to live off of. So there's no age limit on when you can take action. And I do believe taking action is duplicatable. My kids got a chance to see the dynamic between me versus my wife. They're like, man, Daddy always try everything. They duplicate that. I tell my kids, whoever failed the most gonna win. But if you don't try, if you don't take the action, I remember growing up, we were poor. Let me not say poor, because poor stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. We were financially challenged. And I remember my mother being afraid sometimes to take action. And I remember it crossed over to us. So when my teachers used to say, hey, guys, we're doing this field trip, I didn't even ask my mom. I didn't take action to ask her. I didn't even believe she was going to say yes. So I believe that affects everything that we do, because once you start taking action on everything, you literally do that for everything. If we remember the great Kobe Bryant, I have any basketball enthusiasts out there, Kobe Bryant get the ball, guess what he gonna do? Tell me what he gonna do. He going to the hoop or he shooting? You think Kobe care if he miss or make? He's practiced enough to know, I gotta take action, I gotta shoot. Fourth quarter, the game's on you. Guess what Kobe does? Takes over. And this is what we have to do in life and also in business. Do you believe you got the power to change things in your life? Again, all this pertains literally to our true wealth, which is our mindset. Do you literally believe you have what it takes? Finding your personal power, in my opinion, is important. I was meeting with a young lady yesterday, and I said, my weakness is event planning. I don't know how to plan events. She said, well, that's my forte. I said, that's your personal power. You got that. But I do believe some of us forget that we can still tap into it at any moment. At any moment. Literally at any moment. And it's important because we're always used to doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result. Point in case. I came here. Guess what I usually do? Come right to that parking lot. Guess what it said? Private property. So I had to reroute. But I kept moving. Imagine I stayed there and said, Pastor, can somebody move this chain for me? We still have to move. Ooh, I love this bamboo story. So just think about this. Think about the bamboo. If you've never heard this bamboo story, it's very important. So the first year with the bamboo, there's no visible signs of activity. And that's the reason why some of us stop. Because it's like watching grass grow. You can't see the grass grow, Pastor. Is it growing? Is it happening? Oh, it's happening. It's happening. So there's no visible signs. Now think about this. This means you're working at something for an entire year. I had a guy on my team call me and he said, Coach, I see they sent out the email to join this board, but I wasn't on the email. I wasn't on that list. I said, Jay, you keep stopping and going and stopping and going and stopping and going. That's like me planting something, digging it up, seeing the roots, and then replanting it over and over. And you gotta let it sit. And I said, who are you to determine when you get recognition? Just grind it out. Just grind it out. So year one, nothing happened. Year two, again, no growth. It didn't break over the soil. Now these are bamboo, so we know it's strong. And this could be your business. This can be your life. This can be your health. This can be your food choices. This can be anything, but nothing visible has happened. But I promise you it's happening. Third year, now by the third year, somebody tapping out. They tapping out. Now, I need to see something right now. And that's also part of the challenge. We're in an age where it's instant gratification. It has to be delayed. Anything that's worth waiting for, man, I'm glad. Lord Jesus kept me alive. He gave me time to figure it out. It would have been over. So third year, fourth year, nothing. Our patience is tested again and again and again. And then guess what happens if you keep going? You keep planting. You keep pushing. You keep doing what you have to do. Before you know it, think about this. Finally, year 5 for you, it may be day 5. It may be month 5. It may be week 5. It may be year 5. The Chinese bamboo grows 80 feet in 6 weeks. Think about that. That could be your business exploding. That could be your health do a reversal. That could be your family change because you didn't give up on them. We all got those favorite cousins where you like, bro, I can't again. Or your bro, I got to bail you out again. And then they just turn it around because they knew you was holding on. So they held on. So I want to tell you the breakthrough is near, but it's going to take a lot of mental toughness because none of us have a crystal ball on when it's going to break through. You just got to keep chipping at it. You got to keep chipping at it. It's important. Past, present, and future. My past almost affected my future. And I was so stuck in the past, I forgot I was living in the present. My past, I was so stuck on it. My brother told me, man, don't worry about that. You got too much opportunity in front of you. I'm talking about pain. I'm talking about being let down. I'm talking about being taken advantage of. I'm talking about being stolen from. I'm talking about being lied on. Almost caused me not to love again. I'm talking about that agape love. Unconditional. It almost got me. And then I had to realize where I am right now is the best present. I have an opportunity to change my entire future. And you can do the same thing. Personal power we have. Personal power we have. So everything that happened in the past, I can't say what I want to say. I'm in the church. But you better drink some prune juice and let it go. You got to let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Oh, I can't dance. Switch out.
So think about that. Ooh, fancy. So don't allow your past to affect your future. I highly recommend you modify that, because that's where the progress is. I had a meeting today, and it was in Plantation, and my wife said, "Don't you have a meeting tonight?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "You gonna do the meeting tonight?" I said, "Is a horse a horse?" I said, "Nothing's gonna stop me." I said, what I'm doing right now, what we're doing right now is to prepare for the future. But we gotta lay the tracks now. We have to. She said, "Are you hungry?" "Yes, I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat real quick. I gotta fuel myself." But at the end of the day, we're so focused on where we want to be. We know right now in the present, we gotta put the work in. We gotta grind. We gotta dig. We gotta push. We gotta cultivate right now. When the harvest comes, it's a whole nother ball game. When the harvest, how? What happened? Oh, we was planting a long time ago. We just stayed doing that. We didn't lose focus. Nothing shiny came in and changed what we're talking about. Think about how many series we've done month after month after month consistently. That's really what it's about. Constantly going so you could progress. Now, I'm going to give you these 5 things that help me personally develop a stronger mindset, and they'll help you as well. Ooh, this is a good one. I like this. So just think about this. If you hang around with 9 broke people, you're going to be the 10th one. I know we heard that before. Now, I'm going to be very honest. I didn't know this growing up. I hung out with all type of people. They taught me some good stuff. They taught me some bad stuff. But I had to realize my environment literally changed the way I was thinking. It's interesting. I had a meeting today with millionaires and successful people. They move totally different. They don't waste no time. And then I've had meetings, or I have calls and text messages from individuals that's growing. They just want to shoot the breeze. Can't do that. So the environment is critical. Hanging around the right people is important, and it doesn't matter the age, because sometimes you'll hang around a person because you've been hanging around them your entire life. Well, where are you going? You could come. Is it that stronger money mindset stuff? I'll see you when you get back. Oh, I'm going. We have to continue to grow. Second thing, be a lifelong learner. Man, you ever talk to somebody and you feel like you just got smarter just talking to them? You know, sometimes if you talk to Pastor Anderson, oh man, he gonna make your every goal you got. Oh, you got to go bigger. You're gonna have to rethink what you just told him. And guess what? The next time you talk to Pastor Anderson, you better rethink what you told him, because if you come with some small talk, he's going to change your whole mindset of a different way of looking at it, respectfully. So I do believe that we have to continue to be a lifelong learner. My daughter, I was outside doing something to the car, and my daughter was outside, and we were talking about college. We were talking about different things, and she said, "Well, Daddy, how did you become so successful with no college?" I said, "Baby girl, I never stopped learning." I said, "I learned from you and your brother all the time." There's a book that helped me. It's called, I think I put it in here, by Zig Ziglar, Raising Positive Kids in a Negative World. Powerful book. But as I was conversing with my daughter back and forth, she was just baffled on the commitment. She'll come in my office. I was like, "Man, I gotta," and she'll just see me reading, and she'll see my phone going crazy. She's like, "Dad, you're not gonna pick up that phone?" I said, "They're not about to stop me from learning." And that's duplicatable to her. In every moment, my kids get a chance to see my wife and I fail, it's because we needed to learn something new. I tell people all the time, one thing that separates rich people and poor people is information. Literally, information. But we always got to keep learning. We always have to keep pushing ourselves. And I'm always going to continue to learn, and I'm willing to learn from anybody. That is critical. I've had people, I used to run a call center at the age of 22. And I had employees that were white, Asian, black, Haitian. Did you know some of them didn't listen to me because of my age? And some didn't listen to me because of my color. But the facts were the facts. I knew what I was talking about. They ain't just say, hey, your name's Blake, let's just let you go. No. So it's important for us to continue to learn from people. And you know, other things, our lessons. Oh man, overcoming limited belief. Man, in order to learn, getting past his limited beliefs is the first step. Somebody had to teach me this. I was, my mom actually, she said, we were talking about grades. I had to have been 16. And I kept telling her, I was like, I'm not too good in math. Literally telling her, oh, she destroyed me. She said, why are you're not good in math? You're literally telling me you're not good in math as if you're not going to try to get better. You're not going to continue to work on it. And I was literally, that's it. I'm not good in math. That's what it is. And I said, okay, I'm not good at math. And she said, you are good at math. I need you to believe that, son. Lo and behold, as I started doing the things I needed to do in math, I got better in math. And it wasn't because I got smarter in that small sense. My belief changed. My belief changed. That opened up a new world for me. And guess what I did? I applied that to everything. I apply that to everything. Highly recommend you do that as well. So what does your limited belief come from? Okay. Knowledge, right? Future vision, environment, different things you've been through, past results or failures. I know people that started businesses and failed, and they never started another business ever again. There are people that failed in school, and they never went back to school again. I remember in 2007, I was going to become a mortgage broker. I was excited. I was like, I'm about to be a mortgage broker. I did the course. I passed the course, went to the state exam. But you couldn't tell me nothing. Paid my little money, got to the state exam, and failed. Ooh. Before I took the test, I told my mama, I told my brothers, I told my aunt, I told my girl, I said, boy, I'm about to 70. You failed, sir. Oh, okay. And guess what I did? It was very hard. I paid the money again. I ended up passing with an 86 in 2007. Does anybody know what happened in 2008? The market crashed. Think about that. Think about that. Some people got pushed out of the industry because of that. Here I am, fast forward 2023, a licensed mortgage loan officer in all 50 states. Now imagine if I would have gave up on that vision. Imagine Man, I was really sad when I failed. But I was excited too because I told my mom I was going to pass. I ended up passing. So here's some examples of some limited beliefs. I'm scared of failing. That's the big one. Ooh, I see you. That's the big one. Man, I eat fear alive. I eat it alive. We're here present. There's people right now, and I don't want to get into no politics. It's people that's trying to kill themselves to come to America. We don't have time to be afraid. I remember my wife told me a story about, I hope we don't have immigration online. Oh, yeah. Her mom came from Peru, tried to get into the United States. They caught her and sent her back. Guess what she did? Came through Canada and she got in. Imagine if she gave up. I would have never met my wife. I would have never had my kids. It would have been a lot different. All because her mom was very persevere. She wanted to get here. Why? Because she didn't have time to be scared to fail. She failed once and she tried it again. And I think that's part of the challenge, right? We too soft. We too soft. Fail forward. Keep going. I don't know how to do it. With technology and internet and one of my favorite platforms, AKA YouTube University, there should be nothing we can't do. And now they took it to a whole nother level. They got this thing called ChatGPT XYZ. I don't know what it is, right? ChatGPT, it tells you whatever you want. This is where we are right now. So if a person tells me, well, coach, I don't know how to do it, you're not trying hard enough to find a way to do it. It's too much technology. Too much technology. So just think about that. Oh, I'm too old. Oh, man. I used to have some of my elders. Well, son, you know, I'm almost 70. I'm like, okay. I give them the same exact story about Colonel Sanders starting KFC after he retired. We're never too old. God give us more. If he given us more time, we got time to do what we need to do. It's too hard. Well, I tell people, choose your heart. Find me something that's easy. It wasn't easy for any of you to come here. You made sacrifices to be here. And anything that's easy, I don't want it. I'm not good enough. So these are limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I remember the first time my son said this. I almost fell out of my chair. I said, here I am, life coach, motivational speaker, and my son just told me he not good enough. He was playing soccer. I said, boy, you better than good enough. You though. And you need to get out there and show yourself. Don't show me. Don't show your team. You need to show you. Anticipate the ball. Do everything in your power to show you you're good enough. How did they end up winning undefeated the entire playoffs and the championship? And it wasn't just my son. It was multiple kids with the mindset to win. Now, I'm not going to lie. That was his last season. He stopped after that. He went out on the high note. I got him. He's like, Dad, I don't want to do that. That was a good way to close out. I was like, all right, I got you. But it was good for him to know that he is good enough. Let's go over the empowering belief. All my past failures. This is how we grow. This is how we learn. We fail forward. But because we're so afraid, we don't even move. I invest my time into learning. So Pastor this weekend, he talked about a lot of things. But one thing in particular the pastor said this weekend, he said, delayed response. And then he started talking about people calling you In the middle of him eating, he's like, I'm gonna talk to you after these greens. Y'all caught that this Sunday? Think about that. Think about that. He's not rushing to it. He's not. And I think when we process and we think about every day we're doing whatever we're doing, we're in a rush for everything. It's okay to have urgency, but rushing, it's not gonna get faster. You're just gonna get in an accident. So I think when we're going through certain things, we want to invest in time into learning. And there are so many times what struck me when Pastor said that, there used to be so many times where I'll have my phone and I'll be literally in the middle of reading something or going through a module or training, and guess what I'll do? Stop. And guess what? They see me in a whole new rabbit hole. And I stop investing into myself. That's important for us to take that time. Okay? I have all the time I need. I'm wiser at my current age. Oh, okay. I don't know about have all the time you need. The good book said tomorrow not promised. So I don't know about you, but it's kind of like what I told my wife today. Every meeting, I'm going to show up. It's a blessing to even be alive. I'm showing up every single time, every single way, with so much love, with so much passion, because we're fighting for this. Some people can't move. They can't do certain things we could do. So I'm definitely grateful for that. If it was easy, everyone would do it. I heard that before, and I'm debating on that. I'm debating on that because I do think things have, in these day and age, you have systems and processes that make things a lot easier for you. For instance, when I was growing up, you had my mom, you had us. She didn't want us to go into the you had the thing for the kids, and then you have us. She's like, y'all gonna sit right by me. And before, you had to physically go through each chapter. Now, the tablets, boy, I could get to the chapter faster than you. Because of technology, things are a lot faster, smoother if we employ it with what we're doing. So things could be easier. Am I worthy of this? And see, that goes back into the personal power. We're all worthy. I just think once we tap into the personal power, and it goes a little bit to validation. We need somebody to tell us, oh man, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. Just keep going, because validation may not come like the way you think it's gonna come. Hence, one of my guys like, I'm not on that email. Bro, you stopping and going. And then I gave him an example. I said, remember when I was in this company with you and you called me and you said, Coach, they didn't give you no recognition. I said, that's okay. It's okay. I said, my treasure's stored up. I'm Gucci. You can get all excited about these titles man gonna create for you. That doesn't move me. But I do believe that we have to know that we're worthy. That is critical. Whether anybody tells us, let me tell you now, you're worthy. You are 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 worthy. That's you. You are worthy. The first one, you got me. They gonna think it's a glitch on this phone. Like, why you keep saying that? Right? Number 4, establish a support system. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this was hard for me. They're gonna be there to hold you accountable and cheer you. One of the things that people tell me, because I didn't even realize, I'm like one of the biggest cheerleaders. My daughter used to hate me going to her dance recital. Let's go, Kayla. She's like, Dad, just be quiet. Just be quiet. But her friends in the back would say, boy, your dad be celebrating you. I'm one of the biggest cheerleaders. And I had to figure out, how can I establish a support system of people that are not yes people. That's critical. This upper level now. How can you establish accountability? How can you connect with individuals and they can give you straight truth? You got it. Now, I'm not telling you it's going to be 5, 10, 15 people. It may be just 3 people. It may be 2 that's going to hold you accountable. I'll never forget one time I did a speech in Miami. And when I got off stage, my wife was like, babe, here goes some notes for you. I was like, yes, ma'am. Read all those notes. This is early in my career. And then I remember I did a training in, I think it was either Dallas or Orlando. I don't know what it was. I know when my wife came up to me, she was like, boy. I said, well, I feel like we just met again for the first time again. She's like, boy, you just killed that. I said, but tell me what I need to work on. She said, oh, man, you did it. But there have been times where she gave it to me raw, and I needed it because I just needed to make that adjustment. I remember I did a presentation. Pastor came to me at the end. He said, all right, I just need you to do this. I need you to do this. And that's it. I said, thank you. I'm coachable. He said, I need you to repeat this and repeat that. Got you. Know your audience. And I do believe that when you have people around you that's going to hold you accountable, you have people around your support system, when you fall, they'll be there to give you guidance and education and support. But you also need people that's going to keep it, like I like to say, keep it 100. Can you keep it 100 with me? People appreciate that. And sometimes you're going to have to regroup. You're going to have to regroup. All right? So surround yourself with people who get it. The company that we work with, the owner, he's probably worth about $100 million or something. And he said, Coach, what's your goal? I said, well, I'll tell you one of them. I said, one of my goals is to have 100,000 MLOs, mortgage loan officers, in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. That boy put his phone down. He said, what? I said, oh, yeah, 100,000 MLOs in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. He said, wow. He added to the goal to tell me how to get there. I remember years ago, if I would have told that to my surrounding people, you know, they would say, boy, you ain't about to do that. You're not, what? Come, go give me some cookies. And I remember how that made me feel when he said, wow. Now, we didn't accomplish it yet, but I felt a difference. When you tell someone something, now whether he agreed with it or not, I already know who it's coming from. So I was going to move anyway. But the fact that he said, yeah, that's a big goal, that's validating. Now, you want to create some good habits? Instead of seeing what successful people have, examine their daily habits. That's critical. Be persistent, be coachable. Now, I'm gonna touch on coachability. As you're going into your personal power, as you're going into being the best of the best, as you're going into your higher self, you gotta be coachable. Because someone's gonna give you a nugget and you gotta keep your ego in your pocket. I call ego edging God out. You gotta keep your ego in your pocket because they're giving you the nuggets to help you elevate. And being coachable doesn't stop at a certain age. We continuously are coachable. That's very, very important. I remember going through something in life and I had to be coachable. And if you don't, God will show you real quick why it's important for you to be coachable. Have a positive self-talk versus negative self-talk. This is big. Here's why. On your drive home, it's you and you. When you're in the kitchen doing your stuff, your brain working. It could be telling you something positive or negative. Which one you gonna believe? And it's so hard to do at the beginning. One of the things that I did to start helping me stay positive is I start listening to, it doesn't matter who it is, but I start listening to motivational speakers. I start listening to pastors. Now, you got to be careful on what pastor you listen to. We love Pastor Anderson. He keep it 100. Right? So I remember going through a space where I was giving myself negative self-talk, and particularly when I failed in 2007, when my mom moved to Tallahassee, when I lost my first apartment, when my first car got repoed. I did not know what to do. I didn't even know how to think positive, because if you've ever heard of something called Murphy's Law, anything that could go wrong will go wrong. That was me. That was me. And how did I get out of it? Besides listening to these motivational speakers, man, I started listening to my favorite songs. You ever was in a bad mood, then you listen to your favorite song, you forgot what you was mad about? You can't tell me nothing about Michael Jackson. Boy, I get excited. All because it changed my frequency. It changed what I was thinking. And some of these recommendations, you can tap into it at any moment. But that negative self-talk, if you've been having negative self-talk, I'm telling you, it's normal. But where you are right now is not where you're going to stay. I'm declaring that. Where you are right now is not where you're going to stay. Just focus on where you want to be. Focus on take away age. Take away all these challenges that you think you have, and focus on the mission. And I promise you, it'll open up. I only personally take advice from successful people. Now, I'm going to be very honest. It was times I didn't. I think all of us can agree to that. It was times I did not take advice from successful people. You know why? No one told me to do that. Nobody recommended me taking advice from successful people. There's a book called The Richest Man in Babylon, and he talks about taking advice from the expert in that field. That is critical. I'm not going to take advice from Junebug because I know him for 15 years. He don't have nothing to show for what he's talking about. If my car have issues, I'm not taking it to my brother who's a cook. I'm taking it to Mercedes. That's what they do. Go to the experts. When I wanted to learn how to make ackee and saltfish, I don't know any Jamaicans out here. All right. When I had to learn how to make ackee and saltfish, I love my wife, but I didn't talk to her. She's from Peru. I didn't talk to my brother who stopped eating certain foods. I called my mama. Hey, can you tell me how to make ackee and saltfish? She's the expert. So I only take advice from successful people, and meaning they have the physical evidence to prove that what they just did works. That's important. And in closing, here are some tools that help you develop a stronger mindset. Now, I know the middle one, y'all got that down pat. I got you. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm an amateur on the Bible. I plug in as often as I can, as much as I can. And in my business, we do recruiting. Jesus is the number one recruiter. Did you catch that? The number one recruiter. 100-0. The other book that helped me was The Compound Effect by a guy named Darren Hardy. Very, 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 very powerful. They have an audio series, they got a book, but that's a very powerful thing because it taught me about everything technically compounds, not just income. Your efforts compound, goes back to the bamboo, right? Goes back to keep doing, keep cultivating, keep going. You may not see it working, but it's working. You just keep going. You just focus on where you want to be. You just have to believe. You just have the faith. You just have the truth. You just have the values, and it's going to open up. But you got to keep going because no one knows when it's going to pop 80 feet. And that book I told you guys about, Zig Ziglar, How to Raise Positive Kids in a Negative World. This book literally changed my life. It made me start listening to my kids. Some of the things I would tell you, I wish sometimes my mom would have just listened sometimes, but I get it. I love her. She taught me so much. There's things that my kids tell me. My son told me the other day, she said, Dad, we learn things faster in your generation. I said, it is the information age. Okay, you're right. You're right. He said, so, you know, when you're asking me and Kayla questions, can you just be more direct? I said, oh, say less. Trying to beat around the bush to you, boy. And I love how direct he was by even telling me that, because I didn't know he was that direct. I learned that from him. And as we build our lives, as we build our kids, grandkids, our families, we're going to continue to learn from everybody. But I call it a buffet table. You take what you want, leave what you don't want. That's all it is. And it's important for us to not only build our mindset, it's important for us to not only have personal power, but to remember this simple quote. And people hear it all the time, but I want to give you a friendly reminder. Success is not for the chosen few, but for the few who choose. We have to decide success. We got to decide that if you want to start that business, start that business. If you want to buy a house, buy that house. If you want to leave that dude, leave that guy. If you want to mend that relationship, mend that relationship. If you want to do something different, do something different. Don't be afraid to fail forward, because you have personal power. If I ask everybody in this room, what can they do better than anybody else with less effort? Everybody will give me something. That's one way you can find your personal power, and just tap into it. Because I'm telling you, some people you think may have your power, but we're all unique. There's a lot of people that could do what I do. There's a lot of people that may be able to do what you can do. But we got to tap into it. But we got to choose success. We have to choose to be great. One of the things that we got to make sure we do is never stop learning, because life will never stop teaching us lessons over and over and over and over again. And you may get the lesson in a different way. And I had to learn this in leadership. The lessons will continue to come, but you got to be willing to be open for the criticism, be open for change, be open to be recalibrated, be open to make a little shift, and be coachable to it. Because when I send the prayers up, man, the Most High has an interesting way in delivering the answer. And he used people. And some people you at least expect giving you the answer. You like, boy, what you know about? Hey, man, I'm just a messenger, man. I'm just a messenger. Don't judge them. So we learn from different people, kids, elders, facing fears, failing forward faster. I run towards failure. I run towards it. I'm not afraid. I fail so many. I don't even know how to spell failure. I'm okay with it. I done lost so much time in my life, I forgot. I'm immune to failure. It doesn't really even affect me, because it's technically not failure. Thomas Edison said, well, Thomas Edison, you failed 10,000 times to do the incandescent light bulb. He said, no, I found 10,000 ways it didn't work. That's a mindset for you. And guess what? We got lights. Imagine if he would have stopped. Imagine if he would have stopped. So you want to tap in and continue to learn and build your mind up. Tap into your personal power. Figure out what is it that you want to do. Figure out your purpose. Figure that out. It's never too young, never too old but figure that out and keep going. Here's a few, and I'm going to wrap this up. Here's how to find your purpose in life. Develop a mindset. Having a growth mindset, it will link to your purpose. One of my personal favorites is I had to create a personal vision for my life. Now, I'm gonna be very candid and very honest. When I first learned about creating a vision for my life, it literally took me like 3 days. It took me so long. Here's why. I didn't know what I wanted. I had no idea what I wanted. And here's what I learned from all these rich and successful people. They know exactly what they want every single time. And when it comes, they take action. Like every time. Like, oh yeah, this is it. Okay, boom. That's why you ever watch certain people, they make decisions fast. When I have meetings with people that are, super successful, they already know what they're ordering. If they know the restaurant they're going to, they're already going to find, okay, I want this. Why are you over here looking at the appetizers? Because they have that mindset to not only know what they want, but take action with it. So it took me a few days to figure out how to even create a personal vision for my life. And I want to recommend you do that for yours. Right? I wrote it out. Just write it out. What do you want? Who do you want to help? What type of impact you want? How you going to help? Who needs to help you help more people? What opportunities need to come to you? Who do you need to connect with? Give back. Now, giving back is in so many forms. You can give back your time. You can give money. You can give insight. And all of those are very critical. But I do believe in this thing called reciprocity. You get out what you put in. So you gotta give. You gotta give. Man, I was killing myself to get over here hungry. Because I was hungry. Did you catch that? To get here, to make impact, to give value, to give back. Practice gratitude. I like to call it an attitude of gratitude. Now this is very simple, but hard to do. You ever ask somebody how they doing? Some people say, oh man, and they start complaining. You ever ask somebody how they doing, they start complaining? Attitude of gratitude. One of my reps called me one day and she said, she was literally complaining. She gave me I stopped her. I said, Carlina, stop. I said, stop. I said, the third thing you said is, you got a job making $5,000 a month, and then you gave me all these complaints. I said, Carlina, you missing the blessing. He's not going to give you more. You're not even grateful for what you have. She said, Coach, you know what she said, Coach? I didn't even realize I was being negative. I said, I'm allergic to negative people. I'm going to have to get off this phone with you. She said, no. I said, well, I need you to really think about what you just said. You have a lot going for yourself. I said, and you work from home? Then I gave her 3 reasons why she needed to be more grateful. And I said, opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. You're missing out on opportunity because you're not grateful for the opportunity you have right now. At the end of the conversation, we literally veered off of what she originally called me for, but my heart, my spirit had to stop her. And this is why you got to surround yourself with people that's going to keep it 100. Very, very important. Turn your pain into purpose. I gave you guys a story about my grandmother. That's what I did. I turned my pain into purpose. I created an audio book called The Cure for Procrastination because I procrastinated on seeing my grandma. turn your pain into purpose. Some of the biggest companies were developed through someone else's pain. They were smart enough, they was grateful enough to create a solution so other people won't go through the pain. We have to tap into it. Somebody's waiting on you to live your purpose so they could be free. Explore your passions. Now, I'm gonna give y'all a disclaimer with the passions. Now, I want you, be mindful of what we talking about when we saying passions. Okay, I'm gonna let that stay right there. You just let your imagination go wild. But remember, you have to explore your passion. You got to figure out what you like. You got to figure out what you don't like. Figure out what you like to do and what you don't like to do. It's like when you ever go to a job, and then by the time the training over, you like, boy, I don't like this job. I'm out of here. I'm gone. But you need to explore it so you know what you're passionate about. So I have my kids doing these things. My daughter got so bad. I said, so this Sunday we was eating. I said, my wife was going over what we're going to eat for the week. And I said, I want lasagna. She said, okay. I said, the kid's going to make it. My daughter looked at me like, and then they looked at my wife like, how he going to make us? How he going to make us make that? Why he making us make lasagna? I need them to try new things, to tap in, to figure out what their passion is. That's how we found out my daughter know how to draw. That's how we found out my son is a comedic genius, so he thinks. Very charismatic. But we put him in a situation where he had to talk. When we go to restaurants, we don't order for them. You ever go to restaurants and the parents order for the kids? It was 4 years old ordering on their own. I said, if y'all don't order, y'all not eating. Figure out. My daughter's like, Dad, do I have to talk to them? Talk. Speak up. Closed mouth, don't get fed. Now my son feel like he a great motivational speaker, like he could beat me. But we helped him explore his passion. Be a part of a community. That's another thing that's going to help you tap into your purpose, because sometimes when you're a part of a community, you may hear something, man, well, like if I was a part of a community and I needed somebody that's going to help me get some connections, I'm going to call Miss Pat Stevens. That's what she does. She's a connector. She's a connector. You have to know that. You got to tap into that. Now, do I feel some people try to take advantage of my Pat Stevens for that connector? Absolutely. But this is what she got to say, no. But you got to be a part of a community. And in that community, everybody's going to pull their weight. It does take a community to raise all of us, not just a child. Spend time with the people that inspire you. Spend time with the people that inspire you. I remember I got a chance to, my wife and I got a chance to have some dinner with the First Lady and Pastor Anderson. I was elated. I felt like a kid. I was just listening. I wanted to pull out that recorder so bad to record everything he was saying, but that would have been rude. Right? So spend time. Tap into them. Today I got a chance to spend time with my other mentor, listening to him, seeing how he articulated himself, seeing his move, how he run a meeting. Spend time with them, because people leave you clues if you pay attention. They're leaving you success clues. And if you tap in with them, if we all hang around with LeBron James for a whole week, I promise you all of us going to know how to shoot. Some of us better than others, but you will be better than you walked in, because you're going to be in that environment. He's going to teach us everything we need to know. So spend time with people that inspire you. And for my elders, they may be younger than you. Here's what I dealt with at the age of 22. They kept talking about my age. I've gotten inspired by so many people that are younger, older, different backgrounds. I'm just inspired. Don't let a color or creed stop you from getting this food. Spend time with people that inspire you. And I'm going to give you one last tip. Be open to paying the bill. Did you catch that? About 2 months ago, I sat down with a billionaire. You know what that billionaire told me? I was shocked. But afterwards, it made sense. The billionaire said, so when the bill came, I already know who I'm dealing with. Guess what that billionaire? He's used to paying for everything. And I ain't no fool. Because more important than that money was his time. So I knew what he was going to try to do. As soon as I think it was a waitress. As soon as the waitress came over with the bill, I said, thank you, and I paid. The billionaire looked at me and said, hey, man, you didn't have to do that? I said, I had to do that. He told me, I'm not used to that. I said, hold on. You're not used to someone taking a bill? He said, they always assume I'm going to do it because he never forgot me. Still, so be willing to take the bill, and it's okay, because if you're spending time with somebody who inspires you, your time is valuable, and so is theirs. People pay attention to that. So when you have an opportunity to hang out or talk to, maybe the person that inspires you, they're not in your local area. Hit them up on these social platforms. Connect with somebody who knows them. Maybe they are in your surrounding areas, and you see them all the time, but you don't even want to introduce yourself because of that personal power. Boy, I pull up on anybody. Anybody. I'm the guy in the group, they say, Kev, go talk to him. I know you ain't scared. Go talk to him. Hey, how you doing? My name is Kevin Blake. And I talk to him. In my mind, I'm already not afraid to fail. What he gonna tell me? He can't tell me anything that I haven't been through. He's not gonna hurt me. He's actually gonna admire me coming up to him. But people are afraid of the rejection. What if his security stop you? Well, they just gonna have to stop me. And that's the mindset we gotta have in everything we do to put ourselves in a position to win. Tap into that Abrahamic blessing. This is not me now. This is Pastor Anderson. If y'all caught it this weekend, I'm telling you right now, we got to tap into it. We got to know like we know it's already ours. It's already done. And I do believe as individuals get older, they forget this already done. As simple as me saying it's already done, it's somebody that don't even believe me. It's not for me. It's a promise that was made to us. Now, again, I'm an amateur on the Bible. But it's some simple principles that I picked up. So we got to tap into this blessing that's just, it's for us. And if we don't tap into it, we're going to miss out on it. And I'm telling you right now, I'm coming for every single thing that's promised to me. I highly recommend you do that. I highly recommend every single day of your fiber and your being that you give yourself 1,000% every single day. I highly recommend you don't have a pity party. I highly recommend you don't worry about what you didn't do or what you couldn't do in the past. Move forward. I highly recommend that you open up for a new opportunity. I highly recommend that you receive that come to you and you tap in. And when it comes to you, you keep working. You keep working. Don't even look up. Just keep working and keep working. It's going to build. But I highly recommend you tap into this Abrahamic blessing. That's for us. At the end of the day, I'm no different from you. You're no different from me. Tap in. Believe that it's for you. Believe that you have it. Trust that you have it. It's interesting how everybody have faith. Everybody come to the church. Everybody got faith. When it's time to apply the faith, you get missing. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. We have to apply it. This is not the time for any pity party. This is not the time for me to tell you, you can't do it because you got this. Everything you need is on the other side of a decision. I'll never forget this day right here. I was at an event and I went to the presenters and the people that was running the meeting for 2 years. Did you catch it? I went to them for 2 years asking to present. Here's what they told me. Oh, you just started. Oh, we only gonna let the high titles, the people that's the executives, do the talk. And guess what happened? I kept my head down. I kept 2 years. That bamboo, I just kept cultivating. And this day, one of the presenters couldn't come. Who was ready? If you always ready, you never got to get ready. I never forget. I told the guy, I said, why did you take a picture of me after this? Boy, I'm fired up right now. And did you know, when I got off the stage, some of the people went up to the organizer and said, who is that guy? Is he a senior vice president in the company? They were like, no, he's this title. They were like, can we hear him next week? Star was born. See, when you tap in, opportunities are going to come to you. You have the ability to turn it down if you want. I try to take every opportunity that God gives me because I understand the time on this earth is going to be gone like that. So as you tapping in to your purpose, as you tapping in and changing your mindset so the wealth can come in. Because if our mindset is not strong, if we don't believe that we're a leader, we don't believe we deserve to be wealthy, it doesn't matter if we have a stronger money mindset series if you don't believe. Win the opportunity, win the wealth, win the money, win whatever it is you want come to you. You have to remember you got this. You have to remember you've been preparing over and over and over again. The ups and downs prepare you for that moment. And if you tap in, so many people will get blessed for that. So many people. And I'll never forget, my mentor came to me. He was like, bro, you just did that. I said, I need to be on a calendar for the next 6 months. Because after I delivered, I had more posture to say, look what I just did. I just needed one shot. And when I went to them for 2 years, it wasn't like, please let me go. I said, look, man, I'm ready to present. I'm ready to do it tonight. Y'all ready for me? Nope. Okay, no problem. 2 years. And delayed gratification is what really helped me. Because if it was up to me or my old self, after one time he asking for it, I'd be like, all right, man, I'm gone, man. Y'all tripping. I'm out of here. But I stuck with it. Why? Because I knew the people, they needed to hear something. They didn't need to hear a sales pitch. They needed to hear God in that room. They need to hear something that's bigger than them, that's in this movement. And it worked. So as you're going throughout your day, as you're going throughout your week, I want to recommend to you, tap in. It's going to be just like that favorite car. You ever get a car and then you start seeing your car everywhere? You just tapped in. So when you tap in to your personal power, opportunity is going to come from everywhere. And you're going to have the choice to turn it down. But it will be up to you to bless others that blessed you. Camp around people that's going to hold you accountable. Stay focused on the grind. There's nothing that I do for money. I build people. People build businesses. People build their lives. I understand my assignment. It's very clear. There's so many things I've done with no physical financial gain, but the spiritual gain was immense. It changed my entire life. And once I understood how to tap into that, once I understood how to be around individuals that's going to hold me accountable, it changed everything for me. So I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be here on another series of Stronger Money Mindset. We love you, and we'll see you next month. I'm not sure the date, but it will be the last Wednesday of November. We will be here on another series of Stronger Money Mindset. We love you, and we'll meet you at the TOP.